right, we are live. So, hello everyone. Welcome to today's live training. So, I'm still figuring out how to do screen sharing while also showing my camera. So, I think right now it's just showing the screen and we'll stick with that for now. As we go through these live trainings that I have set up, I'll eventually figure out how to also show my face in the corner. But for now, we're gonna just stick with this. So, let's see what we got going on here. We're gonna wait for a few more people to hop on. Wait for a few more people to hop on. Oh, hello. Okay, so we do have some people on here. Awesome. All right, so let's dive right in then. All right. So today we're going to talk about finding the right products to sell and basically how to sell and like price yourself and stuff, because I know as an entrepreneur getting started with this, it's very confusing and you don't want to feel like you're overcharging, you don't want to feel like you're undercharging. There's some months where you have inconsistent income and you're like, I need to supplement this somehow. So we're going to go into all of that today. And also bear with me because this is the first time I've gone live on desktop, so I'm not sure how finicky it's gonna be. All right, so first things first, I would love to know if you're watching this live, drop any questions you have about creating digital products, about pricing yourself, about selling, upselling. If you want to talk a little bit about any services, if you have any questions about services that you offer and pricing yourself there, throw those in as well because we're going to briefly cover a little bit of everything. And yeah, let me know where you're from as well. I love seeing where in the world everyone is tuning in from. So yeah. And then also, if you're coming in late, drop a hashtag replay so I know that you went back and watched this whole training. All right, so let's get started. So who am I? I'm Olivia. If you don't know, I wish I could show my face right now, but I don't think that I can. So I'm Olivia. I have been running my online business now for 2.5, almost 3 years. I started out as a copywriter on Fiverr, and yeah, I quickly realized that I could grow and scale this whole thing and turned into social media management along the route. But in between when I first got started in August and right now where I have my social media marketing agency, I did a ton of side hustles, a ton. And I tried out affiliate marketing. I tried out selling journals on Amazon KDP. I started selling my own digital products. And in that whole convoluted mess, I was really struggling to figure out my direction and the path I wanted to take with my business and how to sell all of these digital products, because I had so much information. I knew what I was talking about. I had so much value to give to people, but I didn't know how to express that. So I hope today's training gives you a little bit more insight on how to do that. And yeah. So first things first, when it comes to selling, there's a few things that we need to cover. And this is called the pentagram model. So in my opinion, there's many ways to make money as a business owner, as you probably know. But if you want to scale from 10K or up to 10K months, 20K months, or even further, I highly recommend following this model right here. It's one of the most lucrative and sustainable business models because it's easy to implement and there aren't as many moving parts as a lot of other business models out there. So it's pretty simple, it's straight to the point, and it summarizes the journey for an audience member. So essentially you're taking a stranger who comes across your content on social media, and then you convert them into a customer later on. And this looks like what I have displayed right here. Pretty simply, stranger to fan to friend to prospect to customer. So when you convert a stranger into a fan, you need to consistently create content that appeals to your target audience. And this phrase right here, appeals to your target audience, this is what you really want to hone in on and focus really, really closely on when you're creating content. And you need to figure out who your target audience is in the beginning. Otherwise, the content that you're creating is worthless, and you aren't marketing to the right person. You're just putting content out for content's sake, and you're not going to make any sales with your offers. So as long as you do this, though, eventually you're going to be able to convert these strangers, so the random people that come across your videos or come across your posts or come across whatever it is you're putting out for the internet to see, into fans. And those people will start following you, and they might even put notifications on to see your content. And that's when they start really following you, checking in on you every once in a while. So to convert a fan to a friend, you need to consistently keep in touch with them. And this is something I'm going to cover a little bit later in the training. And the best way to do this is to build out an email list. You don't know your social media followers, or you don't own your social media followers, sorry, but you do own an email list. The people who opt into your email list trust you enough to give you their personal information. So they are kind of, whether they subconsciously know it or not, they're looking forward to your content, they're looking forward to the value that you can provide them. And building out a strong email list is going to allow you to provide value regularly to subscribers without relying on social media platforms. A social media platform, you guys, can ban you at any time. I've had warnings pop up on my account more times than I can count, and it's kind of a scary feeling to have that all of a sudden your social media account can get dropped at any time, and your potential income could just go to waste. So yeah, social media platforms can take down any content whenever they want, so you don't own that. But with an email list, you essentially have a one-to-one conversation with a person, and some of those people stay on your email list for years. So people might opt in, let's say like right now, today, but they won't end up buying from you until months or even years down the road. But the key here is to start building up your audience to know, like, and trust you. Start building up your audience to want to buy from you. Provide them with value, build up that trust. And you really you don't want to take advantage of that. You want to be selling to your audience, but you don't want to be doing it 24/7. You need to nurture them, provide them with value, build that relationship, and hopefully over time, that's when they convert into buyers. So now that you have an email list, you can start to build a true relationship with your audience, and then they turn into prospects. So a prospect is someone who is considering buying from you. And at this point, they probably like you. They like your content. They know that you're an expert, but the reason that they're not customers yet is because they need that extra push. And this is where you need to effectively communicate the benefits of your product or your service that you're offering. This is where you can close the sale at this point right here. And at this stage, people are either one of two things I've come to learn. One, they're going to buy from you as long as you keep up a little bit of pressure. So, for instance, saying that prices are going to go up soon, or there's a limited number of spots. Or number two, they're never going to close the sale. And that's just the fact of it. It sucks, and that's the way it is. So if it is number two, don't worry, they weren't the right fit. And over the next few days, weeks, months, and like I said, maybe even years, they might buy, but this just tells you that they weren't your target customer. The best way to kind of think of this is look at masterminds or high ticket coaching programs. These take a lot of nurturing before someone is going to buy, and only your ideal customer will buy. They need to be making the money you specified them to buy, and know your rates aren't too high. They just aren't there yet. They need to be in the right mindset, and they need to know you. So just keep that in the back of your head. Not everyone's going to buy from you. You want to be marketing towards your ideal customer. All right, and then the last step is customers, obviously. So this is where your audience member is going to convert and you're going to make money. Woohoo! But the hard work here is not over. You want to retain these customers because it's so much easier to upsell to someone who already knows, likes, and trusts you, rather than finding someone who's going to go through that entire customer journey all over again. So yeah, that is the sales funnel part. And all All right, I'm just checking in on the comments real quick. These are the marketing funnels. You're explaining awareness. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. This is exactly what I'm explaining right now. So thank you. Yeah, exactly what Ubaid said right here. Like, this is the marketing, like, this is the prime marketing funnel right here. Like, this is what people need to know in order to convert into buyers. Like, this is like baseline level 1 kind of stuff that you guys really need to understand in order to sell literally anything. So, yes, thank you for that comment. All right, next slide. So, all right, here comes the fun part. What should I make? There are so many options on what you can make. Ebooks, templates, coaching programs, PDF, courses. It could be services as well. You could literally make anything online, you guys. And I think a common misconception is that, like, you have to have the perfect product in order to sell something. Like, no, you really don't. It could be as simple as doing like an email challenge as well. You could have like an email challenge. Like, one of the things that I sell, or it's not even a sell, it's like a freebie, like a lead magnet, is my 10-day video challenge. And it's completely free, but I'm building up my audience. You know what I mean? Like, I'm nurturing my audience and providing them with value. And down the road, hopefully they end up buying either another one of my digital products, or they join my coaching program, or whatever it might be, because I'm building up that value. You know, another one of my digital products that I sell is a content calendar, and I sell this for $27, and it's a simple Notion template that I've built, and it's super easy to create. I use it all the time for my own business, so all I did was make a copy of it, take out some personal information that doesn't really matter to the general public, and then I sold it. So don't get caught up in the fact of like, I don't know what to make, because you can take any sort of information or value and turn it into pretty much anything, you know? You could turn it into an ebook, you could turn it into a template, you could turn it into this whole coaching program if you wanted, or a simple PDF. You could take it as big or as small as you wanted. So don't get caught up in like, what should I make? You really want to be thinking about, what sort of value do I want to provide for people, and how do I want to package that information? So the first thing you really want to be like thinking about creating is a lead magnet. And you want to have a bunch of these. I think I have like, God, if I had to like actually think about it, I think I have like a dozen lead magnets. And some of them work better than others, but essentially what it is something valuable that you provide your audience for free. Now, the one rule with lead magnets is someone only gets your lead magnet in exchange for an email. And if you're in the comments, or if you're watching this live, like, drop in the comments why you need to exchange it for an email. I kind of talked about it a few minutes ago in the previous slide, but emails are super, super valuable, you guys. And I think a lot of people, especially young entrepreneurs, are like, oh, nobody opens email anymore. Like, email marketing is dead. Nobody really cares. Email marketing is not dead, you guys. Emails are where it is at, and you need to be collecting emails if you're going to be exchanging value. I think it's a pretty fair trade, but it's definitely a necessary trade. So let's talk a little bit more about lead magnets. Let me just open up another tab here. All right. Like I said, you need to be growing an owned audience. And I said it before, but getting people on your email list is incredibly valuable. And you have the permission to drop into their inbox, essentially. Like, that opens so many doors for you. But by giving away genuinely valuable content for free, you're building an audience that's basically gonna follow the KLT method. And I talk about this in some of my other trainings, which is the know, like, and trust factors. And this is gonna allow you to nurture them down the road, as I said before. And this is not to say that you should immediately follow up with a sales pitch for like a $5,000 course. That is not how this works. You want to have their attention, but you don't have their trust yet. So you need a lead magnet in order to start building up that trust factor. And you don't need to put one out every single like week or something like that. It's not social media content where you're constantly pushing out value on there and you have to be creating something from scratch every time. Perfect example is if like you're a copywriter, you could put out a newsletter. That is a more uncommon lead magnet, but it's still technically a lead magnet. Like you have somebody on your email list and you're still providing them value every single week or every single month. Like I said, you could create a PDF. One of my lead magnets that I have is my TikTok growth bundle. So it's essentially like everything you need to know about TikTok to get it off the ground, to start getting some followers, to start making some basic sales inside of like this 50-page PDF, ebook, whatever you want to call it, like bundle package that I've made. And it's super useful. It's a great way to get people onto my email list, and then I can just follow up with them whenever I want. But the aim is that you're eventually providing your audience with so much value for free that they want to buy your premium product before you even asked, before they even know it's going to be useful to them. So some great ways to like get started with this is you need an email software. And the one that I use is Flowdesk. I love using Flowdesk because you get unlimited subscribers for the same monthly fee. It's not like ConvertKit or MailChimp where, you have to pay per subscriber that you have. So I love using Flowdesk. It's been one of my favorite tools. But yeah, definitely you need to get some sort of email provider. Now, actually creating the lead magnets, I think this is on the next page. Let's see. Yeah, creating your offers. So I'm going to tie in lead magnets and offers together in this one section of the training here, because you could, if you wanted to, whatever your lead magnet is, it should be of enough value that you could potentially sell it. So don't think that the lead magnet that you're making, say it's like, let's take my TikTok growth bundle, for example. I originally had that as a $47 offer. I originally sold that. And I took it off of, I brought it down to the free price point and built it out as a lead magnet because I saw that it was valuable enough to bring people onto my email list, but it wasn't valuable enough to sell. So that's something that I'm going to talk a little bit about later, is this concept of like, should you be pricing it out? Should it be, a free product? Should it be something that you sell? I'll talk about that a little bit later. But don't think that you have to make something so much more complicated and in-depth just because it's going to be a paid offer. You can literally make it using the exact same softwares. So for instance, one of my favorite places to create these lead magnets is literally right on Google Docs. You can create such valuable PDFs straight out of Google Docs. You can write word-for-word documents that you can turn into lead magnets. And then you could also turn these into paid products if you want to. You can make starter guides. So like teaching people the basics of a new skill. For example, let's say like beginner's guide to brewing the perfect coffee, or how to start an email newsletter from 0 subscribers. Like that is a perfect way to use Google Docs. And then all you can do is just like export that as a PDF. You can make like the font look a little fancy, whatever. You could do like written step-by-step walkthroughs. So something that gets your audience from point A to point B. Perfect example of this is 10x your Twitter audience in 5 steps, or a step-by-step guide to 0 to 1,000 email subscribers. So like a step-by-step walkthrough. Like that's another perfect example of something you could do on Google Docs. Another great platform to use is Notion. So I use Notion for literally every aspect of my business, and I know that I kind of briefly went over it when I talked about my content calendar, but you can make virtually anything in Notion, you guys, and their $0 plan has everything you need to make a good lead magnet or even a good paid product. I like to make a lot of templates on there. So if your audience uses Notion, then you probably built templates that might benefit them. and it might be a good content creation hub or a goals tracker, or if you're like in the health and wellness industry, you could do like a meal prep template. But there's so many different things that you could do on Notion, and it's organized in such a way that you can be really creative with it as well. So if you're not currently using it, I highly recommend at least looking into it. Another great platform is Figma. I'm not super comfortable with the Figma platform, but this is great for like UX designers or graphic designers. You can do all sorts of themes, like design templates for blogs, for apps, for newsletters. You could do website design in wireframes in Figma. So if Ubaid is still watching this, then Figma might be a great tool for you to use, is trying that out, because I think you can do like wireframe designs and stuff like that in there. Infographics, you can also use Figma for infographics. I personally don't use that one, but I know a lot of people who have had great success with it. I use Canva because I am a very minimalist person, and I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a graphic designer at all. But I create beautiful visuals in minutes in Canva. There's a lot of templates that you can do. And one of the lead magnets that one of my friends does, she's a YouTuber, and she sells thumbnails. So like thumbnail Canva templates. And you can create amazing thumbnail templates for YouTube on Canva. Like you can copy and paste a lot of the templates and customize them the way you want. And I also create all of my lead magnets on Canva. So I just write everything down into a Google Doc, and then I copy and paste it into Canva and just make it look pretty. And it takes like maybe half an hour to do. And then the last tool that I love to use is called Loom. So Loom records both you and your screen. And I kind of wish that I used this for this training. I used Loom because I have a Loom subscription. I don't know why I didn't try and figure this out a little bit more. But anyway, I digress. Next training that we do, I'll figure it out a little bit more. But using Loom is a great way to create value for your audience that you can either sell or put out in a free format. So a great example of this might be how to set up your Notion dashboard. And you could sell that for like $17 or something like that. Or you can even make it like a freebie, whatever you want to do. But providing your audience with free value gives them something that they're going to be super grateful for. It's going to build trust, and it's a win-win for everyone, you guys. So those are my top 5 places for creating your offers. If anyone has any questions about that, please let me know. I know I kind of ran through it. Next slide. All right, so this is my favorite part here. All right, we're going to talk about setting your price point. So I took this little infographic from online, but it's essentially the basic of every single value ladder that you're going to find. And if you're in the marketing realm or any sort of like business income realm, you've probably seen a lot of things priced like this. $7, $27, $97, $297, $997, and then it just keeps going from there. But the reason for this is because it goes back to a lot of business psychology, and it goes back to how people buy and stuff like that. I'm not going to dive super in depth with that because we don't have enough time to do that. But setting your price point here is crucial because you want to be following what is called the value ladder. And essentially how it works is as the value of your offer increases, the price point increases. So down here, you're going to have, I'd say, let's start even further down here. Down here is where you're going to have all of your freebies. You're going to have things that are pretty high up in value that are going to grab people's attention like we talked about before, but they're going to be completely free. Okay? And I guess the way that like the psychology with this works is when you bring someone in with something super high value for free, they automatically assume that whatever your next offer is, whether that's $7 or $27, we'll cut it off right here, is going to be also extremely high in value. So they're basically getting the biggest bang for their buck whenever they buy from you again. So things that are going to be in like the $7 range, that would probably be, simple things like my content calendar, for example, that's at $27. A mini course, like an extremely mini course that might be like an hour long video, a webinar, that would be in the under $100 range. As you get a little bit higher up on the value ladder, you're going to have things that are more difficult they take more time to create, they take more time to consume as well. So this might be, like a $200 course. It could be a one-on-one, like a 30-minute one-on-one. It could be, a live replay from an event. The list kind of goes on. This is basically where like courses kind of fall in this range right here. This is also, if you're a freelancer, this is low ticket freelancing services. So it's going to depend on industry to industry. But for me, if I do like a bulk video editing package, simple video editing, that might fall under here. But as you get higher up, you can see that the things that are offered on the value ladder are much more time consuming to create and go way more in depth with whatever value you're providing. So coaching and consulting, like my coaching program, like if you want to do one-on-one coaching with me, starts at $3,500 a month. And that falls like right in here. Same with my freelancing services. Like I charge $1,000 minimum per platform for all of my social media done for you services. So like these are pretty high ticket stuff. Some sort of like course programs, they also might fall into this range, like high ticket courses, membership programs. And then as you get really, really high up, this is where like events and masterminds come in. So like what ClickFunnels does, like Russell Brunson's mastermind, what is it called? I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. Funnel Hacking Live. Like that is like a multi-$1,000 event. People pay so much money to go to that. So this is the value ladder. And basically what you want to be doing is building people up the value ladder, because you don't want to constantly be throwing people, bones right here. You don't want to be like, hey, I'm just going to market this product right here to everyone all the time. You want to be selling to people who are already inside of your value ladder. It's so much easier to sell to people who already know the value that you've provided them, rather than trying to find someone fresh off the streets who literally knows nothing about you yet. So if you have any questions about that, we could go so in depth with this. And this is something that I plan on doing another live training on in the future, but it's a very, very in-depth topic. Going off of that, so this is a screenshot from, I think it was a few years ago, with some sort of ClickFunnels thing. But we're going to talk about this idea of price anchoring. All right, before we do that, I want to go into the comments and see if I have any questions. I'm writing an ebook on SEO that basically explains so that a 7-year-old can understand. Awesome. I have a question. How do I communicate the value of my product or service to customers in a way that justifies the price? Okay, so this is a very, very good question. And I don't know if I'll have enough time to cover this, but the basics of it comes down to copywriting. And I know that's probably not the answer that you want right now, but the basics of it comes down to copywriting and setting up your audience from the very beginning. So let me try and think of the best way to put this. If there's one skill that everyone should really focus on, it is copywriting. But I guess to kind of answer this in like simplest terms is you want to figure out who your niche, like what your niche is and who your target audience is. And this is the hardest part in this entire process, is figuring out your niche, figuring out your target audience, because I know that there's so many conflicting opinions about niching down, but honestly, the best way to convert people into buyers is really honing in your copy, honing in your branding, honing in on all of the things that make you or make your product really perfect for your target audience into the copy. Um, like I said, I could go on forever about talking about this. I'm trying to give you like a really simple explanation. All right, let's put it this way. If you There's three questions you really want to kind of ask yourself when it comes to creating products. What are you deeply passionate about? What could you be best in the world at? And what drives your economic engine? And that is your purpose, your authenticity, and your value. So you really want to be displaying all of that in your content all the time. You want to be displaying that in your emails all the time. You want to be showing that in whatever your copy is, however you show up online. That is the best way to communicate the value of your product, is to show people that you are already an expert in that, and that this is like, oh god, I'm trying to think of the best way to like explain this in only like 2 or 3 minutes. I'll have to do another live training on this, Ubaid, because I don't know if I can explain all of this in just like 2 or 3 minutes trying to answer the question. It's a lot that has to do with customer psychology. It has to do a lot with how you show up online, and it has a lot to do with your copy as a whole. So what I would recommend, honestly, here, let me grab the book. Where is it? One of my favorite books that helped me figure out how to like communicate the value of my product to the customers was this book called Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. And the book will probably do a better way of explaining it than I'm trying to do right now, because he goes really in depth with the different strategies on how to do that, the different ways to write out your sales funnels in a way that will captivate your ideal customer, because that's what it comes down to. You should never have to justify the price to someone who isn't your ideal customer. I think that is the best way to put it. You should never have to justify the price to someone that's not your ideal customer. If your ideal customer is coming across your product or your service, whatever it might be, they're going to buy because they're your ideal customer. And you shouldn't feel the need to lower your price for some random person that slides into your DMs and asks about it. Like, you shouldn't feel the need to do that, because they're not your ideal person. Your ideal person will eventually come along as you market your product better. But, okay, I think niching down is a great idea. Yeah, niching down is the best way to do it. Like, really honing in on who you're trying to target is going to be the best way to do this. It really is. And it sucks to say it out loud, because when I first started, I was trying to target everyone as well, thinking that, like, you know, everyone's going to buy from me. It's a great product. Who wouldn't want this? But you need to have a focus. You can't just, like, market to everyone, because then nobody will buy. So I recommend that book, and I'll try and do like another training on this. And if you have any questions as well, like, we can totally set up a one-on-one and talk more about this. But for the sake of this training, I'm trying to keep it under 45 minutes, so I don't want to dive too in depth with that right now. But yeah, keep asking questions as you have them. All right, so we're going to talk about price anchoring now. So digital products is kind of like a minefield, because unlike physical products, there is no additional cost of production for each unit sold. So the cost of making the product isn't a huge factor. And this kind of boils down to the question of, how do we actually set our price? The biggest thing we want to consider here is pricing for value. And pricing for value means pricing for what we think the product is worth, rather than focusing specifically on making more money than how much it costs to produce. So instead, we're going to focus on the potential returns that the customer can get from buying the product. For example, if you have, let's say this graphic right here, this is going to be the standard price. This is going to be the standard price. Okay, almost $3,000 for whatever this ClickFunnels funnel thing is. The Funnel Builder Secrets, that's what it is. That's going to be their standard price. And if you start to implement the things that you're learning and hold on, let me back up. I need a sip of water real quick before I try and go off on this train of thought. Okay, we're good now. So, for instance, if they set that at a price of, let's say, $10,000, there's likely that there's going to be a price to value gap because you think you can make a lot more if you follow the lessons in the course and follow all the trainings, follow everything that ClickFunnels provided. But you'd have to work a lot harder to find the right people to buy it because it's so much more expensive. So price anchoring is a great strategy to get people to look at your baseline price as kind of a good deal. You need to create your own, I guess, context within your customers who view your prices rather than leaving it up to their like pre-built conceptions that they already have. So you're anchoring your prices to each other, not to the similarities of the products. That way you can like maximize revenue. And when you introduce this third one right here, this higher product, like higher value, then it's going to be significantly more expensive, but it's going to raise the value of the middle product rather than people looking at this as like the best deal, if that makes any sense. You want to have this as the anchor price because it's the middle of the three. It's like if you look at like subscriptions to a lot of like apps and services out there, they have like $15 a month and then $45 a month and then like $97 a month. Typically the middle one is always the best value because you're comparing it to the upsell here, like the big upsell, the one that less people are likely to buy, and the lower tier, which shows the less value that you're going to get from not buying the middle one. So this is the one that you want to be creating the product for, if that makes sense. You want to be creating for this middle category here, and then you want to have anchored prices on either side. And I do this all the time with my freelancing services. So I do this thing called a 3-tier proposal, and essentially the bottom tier is basic level stuff. Okay, so let's say that's $500 a month. So I hop on a discovery call with someone and they tell me exactly what they want. I'm going to offer them something a little bit below what they ideally would want for $500. Okay, and then I'm going to jack the price up to whatever they actually want plus a little bit more. Okay, and that might be $1,500 to $2,000. This is what they're actually going to need. Okay, this is what they're actually going to need. And then this last category here, whatever tier 3 is going to be, might be something like $4,500. And this is going to be all of this value plus a ton more. And they're going to look at that $4,500 and say, oh my God, there's no way I can afford that. But they're going to look at this and say, oh, there's no way I can, I don't have everything I want if I go with the tier 1 base level package. I need to go with this one right here. This is what the best value is going to be. So I don't know if that was a better way of explaining it, but you want to have that price anchor right here, which is what the ideal customer / client is looking for, plus a little bit more. And then on either side, you want to have kind of that wow factor of like, oh, this is a bigger price increase. I don't know if I can afford that, but it has so much more value. And this one isn't exactly what I'm looking for. To go with the middle one. In short, customers will feel they're getting a great value and you'll generate higher sales. Yes, exactly. That is exactly true. So I hope that explains the price anchoring. Definitely, no matter what you're selling, whether it's a course Or, and this is if you're doing a course as well, this is where like monthly payment plans come in really handy. Is like saying, oh, it'll be $1,000 for the course if you pay up front, or like let's say like $397 for 3 months. Obviously, you'd want to probably try and do the $1,000 up front because, you know, it's cheaper, but ultimately a lot of people can't afford that, so they're going to do the $397 and you're going to get more money in the long run from it. So it's just setting up like different price anchoring points like that and giving your audience choices, because when you give them choices, then they're probably going to act on one of the choices. People want to compare things. It's like when you're shopping on Amazon. You're looking at reviews, you're looking at what you're going to get in return. So, all right, we'll go on to the next slide now. This also ties into upselling. So this is a little bit different from the 3-tier that I was talking about, or the price anchoring that I was talking about. This is more when you're selling, let's say, a digital product, so like my $27 content calendar. When people are checking out, you can also offer an upsell, like another page for when they move on in the sales funnel. So this could be something super simple for a very low price. Maybe at the checkout page, they're like, okay, would you also like this 100 content ideas for an extra $7? And this is something that I learned from the ClickFunnels trainings from Russell Brunson. And if you haven't read any of his books, the .com Secrets, Traffic Secrets, Expert Secrets, I highly recommend reading those 3 books because it explains this concept really, really well. And essentially what you're doing is you're providing more value to someone for a lower price than what they would initially pay for it. And it's really interesting the amount of people that actually say yes to the upsell. And I think I've had a lot of people come to me. One of my coaching clients was like, Olivia, I don't want to be throwing offers at people 24/7. And I said, you're not throwing offers at them 24/7 because you're providing them more value. And if they pay for the value, then they're going to use it, and it's a win-win. You know, they're going to see results from what you're offering them. So don't be afraid to upsell to someone. Don't be afraid to upsell to your clients. You know, I do this all the time in my social media agency. We upsell whenever we see a problem arise. And it's true with any digital products that you have. You want to be upselling in areas that you know problems will arise in. So say for my content calendar, if I'm selling my content calendar, you know, people are planning out their content, but they might not have enough ideas. Oh, I don't know what to throw inside of the content calendar. So that's when you upsell for like a $7 100 content ideas PDF. And people will buy it. Because people subconsciously know that along the road, they're going to run into these additional problems, and they might as well just knock out the solution while they can. So that's my short take on upselling, but I highly recommend reading, like I said, the Russell Brunson trilogy of Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets, and .com Secrets. Lots of value in there. All right, now we're going to talk about promoting your offer. I'm going to go and check the comments real quick. All right. Best way to sell a $2,000 watch is to put it right next to a $10,000 watch. Yes, this is so true. So true. I have a general question. What are some mistakes that you made regarding pricing in your freelancing career? Okay, yeah, we can totally cover this. So some mistakes that I ran into when I first started pricing out my services was only offering one package in the beginning. That was definitely really hard, because this goes back to the whole price anchoring thing where people didn't have anything to compare to. I didn't put in a buffer for when I hired out help. So like, you know, some of my services that I offer, like video editing and like graphic design, all of that stuff. Like, I don't personally do that myself, you guys. I have other freelancers do it for me. I focus on the strategy part and like the front end client work. And something that I didn't take into consideration when I first started pricing myself for like these high ticket proposals was the fact that I needed to hire out other freelancers to help and pay them. So when you're setting up your pricing, I highly recommend putting in like a buffer. So whether that's, I guess it depends on how much it's going to cost to hire someone to do a specific service. But say when you do the pricing out of like all of the things that are going to go into whatever service you're offering, it comes out to like $4,500, right? You probably want to bump that up to like $5,200. That way you have some wiggle room if you want to hire out other people to help you with those projects. So that's another big mistake that I made, was not doing that. And then I would say doing hourly over monthly rates. Never price yourself hourly. If you're a freelancer listening to this right now, never price yourself hourly. Always price yourself with a monthly rate or a flat fee. If it's a flat fee to do a project, just do the flat fee. And then never explain yourself. Never explain why you're charging that much. Never. If someone asks you that, then they're probably going to cause you a lot of problems down the road. So those are a few red flags / things I wish I knew before, but I hope that kind of answered your question. I can also we can hop on a call and chat more about that if you want to. And if you're in my membership program, we talk about that a lot, is like freelancing pricing. All right, so let's talk about promoting your offers, promoting your services, promoting your products, whatever it is. There's 4 main ways to really do this. Number 1 is emails, which we covered pretty in depth earlier. Number 2 is social media, and this is my specialty. Social media is my specialty, and I promote all of my offers in video form. I promote them on my stories. I promote them in regular posts. I try and put my offers everywhere. And in my mentorship program, not my personal one, but one that I am paying to be in, my mentor told me that you should be selling every single day. You should be selling something every single day, you guys. And I know that for a lot of you that might seem like, oh, but I don't want to be selling every day because I don't want to show up and seem like scammy or like, it's kind of gross to be selling to my community every single day. No, you need to be selling on social media every single day. It doesn't have to be like a high tier, like $5,000 course or something that you're selling every single day, but it does need to be something. So show up in your Instagram stories, say, hey, I have this, perfect example, my 10-day video challenge. I try and promote that every few days. I try and promote my freebies every single day. I try and promote at least an offer every single day somewhere in my social media. Because people aren't going to buy from you if they don't know that you even offer these services. They don't know that you have these digital products. Like, you got to be showing people that you're there, that you have something of value for them to buy. So another great place is Facebook communities. And then the last one is paid ads. This one we're not going to cover in this training here because it's pretty in-depth and there's a lot that goes into paid ads. But yeah, those are the big 4. All right, now we're going to talk about when to increase your rates. You want to be increasing your rates every so often. And the way I like to think about it is supply and demand. So this is kind of where the training about like services and, coaching and like freelancing stuff separates from digital products. So with digital products, it's kind of a one and done price. And you only really want to be raising the rates when you add more value to it. So for instance, if you have a course and it's originally like $297 to take the course, as you add more trainings to it, that's when you want to increase the value. That's when you want to maybe raise it up to like $19.97. But when it comes to freelancing services, my biggest tip, or coaching services or anything that's kind of in exchange for time, I always say raise your rates every single time you work with someone. raise your rates. Every single time you hop on a call with someone, every single time, you send out a proposal, you want to be raising your rates. You do. Because at this point, people are paying for your experience, they're paying for your time, and you need to be consistently raising those rates in order to scale your business. Because like I said before, like I was at a point where I needed to hire out people to do other tasks so that I could focus on the bigger strategy. And if you're not raising your rates, then you're going to be stuck in the circle of I can't raise my rates because I can't afford to hire anyone, but I can't do more work because I need to hire someone to my team. And you're going to get caught in this loop. So you want to be raising your rates every single time. That way you can start scaling your business. Experimentation. This is another big thing that I want to chat on. And it is consistently experimenting and trying new things. You're going to have offers that flop. You're going to have products that just completely don't work. You're going to have offers that nobody cares about and they never buy. You might have like maybe a handful of people that buy from you. And there's so many factors that could go into why somebody is not buying from you. It could be how you're marketing it. It could be the sales funnel. It could be the offer itself just sucks. It could be literally so many different things. So you want to be trying out different ways or different things on how to market your product. You want to be trying out different things that go into your product. So for me, I had like 5 different iterations of my content calendar template. I had like so many different trial periods of working on that. I took feedback from people who bought it. I was working on the sales funnel 24/7, changing things up, seeing what got more clicks. So you want to be trying new things all the time. Sometimes it's the offer that just doesn't stick, and sometimes it's the way that you're marketing it. So keep that in the back of your mind. All right, and then I think this is the last big thing we're gonna pretty much cover, and this is diversifying your income streams. So as a creative entrepreneur, as a creativepreneur, as a business owner, you have months that are better and some months that are worse than others. And the key with making a more stable income is diversifying your income streams. So for me, over the holiday season, I didn't have a lot of clients. A lot of them didn't have the budget going into Q4. A lot of people were taking a break for the holidays. So my primary income stream of my agency was kind of at a standstill, and I was like, I need to figure something out here. So I fell back on a lot of my other income streams, one of them being affiliate marketing. And I went back on my social medias. I started promoting all sorts of products and services, and I was able to build up an additional income stream during those 3 to 4 months where client work was really low. Another great way is brand deals and sponsorships. So working with different companies, posting content on your page on behalf of a brand. These 2 things right here, affiliate marketing and brand deals and sponsorships, this is again something that I talk a lot about in my membership program, and we could go super in depth with this. But these 2 have been crucial or critical for my business in months where it's been very, very slow, very, very dry. Next is ad revenue. So if you're on like YouTube, or if you're a TikTok creator, or if you're getting like Reels bonuses, getting all sorts of ad revenue from that. And then last is having like a monthly membership. I cannot tell you how amazing a monthly membership is when it comes to income, because that is reoccurring income every single month. And memberships can make you a ton of money. All right. So if you are struggling with anything that we went over, if you are like, I need some more hands-on assistance, I really don't know where to go from here, Olivia, but this was some awesome value that you provided today, I'm here. I got you. So I highly recommend that you look into my Creativepreneur membership. It's $47 a month, and It's everything that you need to help unlock your inner creative potential and build a business that makes you, well, you. So if you're posting daily but you're not making any sales, or if you're talking about your offers on your stories, on your videos, and no one's buying from you, or if you feel like your content is super vague and fluffy and you don't really know what you're marketing to, or if you even just wake up and you're like, how am I going to make some money today? Then I highly recommend looking into this, and I'll drop the link in the chat. But I want you to know that it's okay. You're just taking some of the wrong actions to bring in money right now. So when you sign up, there's 3 big things that you get. One is a monthly action plan to help grow and scale not only on social media but also your business. All of the strategies, the roadmaps, community mentorship, that we can build an industry-leading brand and business, and then Q&A sessions with me. So every month we do a live Q&A over Zoom, and I answer all of your questions. So we go one-on-one together with the group, and we go over any sort of questions that you guys have on how to grow and scale, make more money, and just make this whole thing work for you. So I'll drop that link in the chat. And if you're interested, sign up. If you have any questions, then you can definitely send me a DM, and I'll try and answer those questions to the best of my ability. But yeah, do we have any other questions about everything I talked about today? I did not expect it to go a full 57 minutes. I really thought this was going to be a 30-minute training, but I kind of went a little off track with some stuff. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in. I'll stay on for another minute or two. And yeah, let me go through the chat right now and see what we got. All right, well, that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining, and yeah, I'll have another training. I think the next one is scheduled for next week. And what is the training actually? Let's see. Next week's training is repurposing, how to repurpose and amplify your business's story. So this goes back into Ubaid's question about like the customer journey and stuff like that, and like providing value. We're going to be talking a lot about that in next week's training. So make sure to sign up for that. And I will try and figure out how to get the camera to work next time too, because I really don't like just having the slideshow up. I also want to have my camera. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, as I said, please reach out, send me a DM. They're always open. I love chatting with people. And yeah, let's go from there. Have a good one, guys.